Okay, I think we're live now. Good old 5-second delay. Hello, welcome everybody to GeekOut Live. I'm Susan Leonardson. We have Andrea Peer. We have Dan Havey. And Dan Havey's got a big old stack of boxes next to him. I have one of those boxes next to me.
I haven't got mine yet.
And I don't know, Andrea. Yeah, you don't have any of them. But we are going to do, I don't know why Dan has 3 boxes.
Andrea.
I'm going to unbox Gabby. Here we go. She's my, look, a cat on my shoulder. No.
And Andrea's got her cat on her shoulder.
Well, we can open your cat.
I know, right?
So we
got my trusty knife here. We'll get to work.
No.
Okay, so we will be opening the boxes. I don't know why Dan has 3 of them, but I know what the top one is. And I'm not sure what I've received because I'm not in this thing wherever this thing came from. I have no idea why it showed up at my door. But we'll find out. So we're going to open them up soon. We're going to save that. You got to stay and watch, and we're going to hook you in that way. But first, we have something exciting that has happened this week and something exciting happening next week. And they are related to one another, and one leads to the other. And so I'm actually going to let Andrea talk a bit about what's been going on this week inside of like how we've been serving our GeekOut Academy members, both levels. And it's been pretty fun to watch. And,
yeah. It's been awesome. So we had, so we recognized, even today we had this session where we talk about the different, maturity levels of a continuity that, I think a lot of times when we're first going into a continuity, we all get really excited about it and we want to just like shoot for the moon. And we see examples like what Russell has with SOS, right? That's like the amount of content that's in there and the amount of resources that went in to creating that thing is substantial, right? And so I think those are our standards. Like that's what we look at. So we're like, oh, we want to get into a continuity, but that's completely overwhelming because we were talking today. It's like, you have to learn how to create your frameworks and talk about your frameworks and send those frameworks out to the world. And then you have to learn how to like, what kind of guide do I actually want to be? And who do I want to talk to? And then you have to understand how do you actually like build the tech and like put your content out into the world and how do people access the tech? And then all of the emails and the automations. And then on top of all of that, it is like, how do I sell it? How do I market it? How do I position it? I mean, it's a lot. And I think that the art of creating desire is to make it seem like it's simple. But when you actually get into it, we talked a lot today with our geeks, like it's not simple. So give yourself a little grace, right? And don't try to build a Ferrari right when you're launching your continuity for the first time. Build the little skateboard that's still an awesome experience, but it's just a skateboard and start there and then progressively move up. So in that vein, we had our original, kind of alpha launch of our program. We moved it into beta, got them kind of into more of a level 2, started our level 1, which is still kind of like early stages, right? And so we, in that, because it's early stages, we don't have all the systems in place. We don't have all the things that we know are needed in a great membership experience or continuity experience. So we're like, okay, well, how can we serve in alignment with how we are as guides? And so we've had swarm sessions for the past 2 days where we brought both people from our level 1 and our level 2. And just basically for 3 hours went intense on how do we push the ball forward just a little bit and be super hands-on about it and super helpful about it. And they all have shown up and just done amazing work. And it's just been so much fun for the past 2 days. And so that's been what's been going on. And it's great prep for the challenge coming up, which I'll let Susan talk more about. But yeah, so good stuff. And plus just our level 2 people, I got to give a giant shout out. We're like seeing YouTube channels launched. We're seeing dramatic demonstrations coming around. We're seeing funnel hubs that like people are starting up their newsletter and their blogs. Like it's just awesome to see that people are they're producing some amazing things and they're starting to bring it out into the world. So super exciting.
Yes, it is. And so I'll talk a bit about the challenge. If you're watching, who participated in the Create Continuity Challenge? We did this, when was that? Like in August?
Sounds about right.
I want to say August time. Maybe July, maybe end of July. I don't know. It was sometime in there where we ran the last challenge. Some of you may have participated in like the replay version of it. That's inside of our members area. And it was awesome. It was really, really good. Andrea killed it with all of her amazingness. And but we learned something from it. So we were like, and I'm going to address this question because we have been getting this question frequently lately of like, why don't you do a 5-day challenge? Mm-hmm. And our answer to that is, well, we don't like 5-day challenges. First of all, like we don't want to stretch out what we are showing up for, like to do in the challenge. We don't want to stretch that out for 5 days just for the sake of saying it's a 5-day challenge. Like, why would we do that? And then the other part of it is we personally don't like showing up to 5-day challenges. It's like a big, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, it's just an adjustment in our week schedule, right? It's like, okay, I can commit a couple hours for a few days, but I can't like adjust my entire week to show up to the challenge. That is, I know like the challenge is just to get me into the next thing. So like, I'm one of those people where I'm like, just tell me what the thing is and I'll buy it. Like, I don't need to show up to 5 days. Yeah. But we do recognize, and then also, what we've recognized in other people's challenges is that it's a lot of fluff, a lot of fluff. And while they say it's like show up and do stuff, the only one I've actually seen where that's true is, and you might have another one, Andrea, but I do believe that the Your First Funnel challenge is intended to show up and actually get stuff done. Like, here, we're going to talk some, but then you have some homework, go and do it. Because the goal of that challenge is to actually go and build like your first opt-in. And that's the only one that I see. All the rest of them feel like a lot of fluff and not a lot of substance. I think a lot of them are geared toward like getting people into the right mindset. And I think, I don't know, we've never talked about this, but I think we just make the assumption that people are already showing up in the right mindset. When I'm talking about mindset, I mean like the like elementary level mindset, like where we all, like if you're brand new into being an entrepreneur and you're like shifting from a 9-to-5 job into entrepreneurship, there's going to be a lot of mindset work that you're going to have to do. But like, as long as you're like ready to show up and take action, like I think that's all that's required in the beginning. And I feel like we are a lot on that, and it's like, okay, let's move on.
Yeah, absolutely. I think too, we are niched and we're not going for the masses yet. Like we're still talking to our super fans, right? Yeah. And so I think that also helps. And we don't got time for fluff. we got time for that.
So our challenge was 2 days when we originally ran it. We've renamed it and now it's 3 days. And that's because we're adding in one more day. And this one day that we're adding in, it's going to be sandwiched in the middle of so we've got the 2 days we've done before, and then we're adding this other thing in. And we keep hearing it from every one of our Geek Out Academy people and our agency clients of like, this is the like single best thing that has given me the most value out of what we give them. And really it's like, it's Andrea's genius. And I just love it. So we are adding that in to the challenge. So we're now going to take you through 3 days. It's super actionable, very high engagement. You're not just listening to talk. It's like you're making decisions. You're making a plan during this challenge. Dan just put the link probably in your own group, huh, Dan? I'm going to drop it into the Geek Out group, and then let's put it right here for our YouTube people.
Well, one thing I'll add to what you said that I think is an important part about the 3-day versus the 5-day versus the whatever is so much of what had started off as challenges has really basically morphed into Russell's perfect webinar presentation, turned sideways and broken up into 3 to 5 days. And that is absolutely not what goes on in this challenge. So if you think it was just going to be the same thing as always, we're going to start off, we're going to tell our epiphany story, we're going to tell how we learned and earned it, we're going to go through the 3 secrets. That is not at all how this works. And I was skeptical, I got to admit, the first time these guys presented this idea to me. And then I watched it the first time and I said, okay, I get it. I don't think we should call it a challenge, to be honest with you, anymore, because I think the term challenge has become that, basically a sideways webinar. And so maybe next time around, we need to think of a better term, because first off, we don't want to scare people away thinking it's just going to be a sales pitch, because you're going to get in there and you're going to work for 2 days, 3 days. Well, I guess 3 days now. Last one was 2 days. You're going to get in there and you're going to actually work for 3 days. And you're going to see how we look at things and how it is so much different than what everybody else does. And it's going to get you started and moving down the road. Now, obviously, at the end, we wouldn't be doing this if we didn't have something to sell. Everybody knows that going in. But this is going to give you so much growth in these 3 days. The whole idea is it's a no-brainer that you just want to move forward, because why would you stop at that point? Why would you move backwards after you've made so much success in 3 days? You're going to want to keep going forward.
I think, Dan, you hit a really important note in that, like, so there are definitely still the elements of the, how it's just a perfect webinar that's expanded out. There's still those elements, because those are still key to being able to get people into the right mindset to pitch them and have them take your offer. But it's not like the only thing that's in there. And I would say it's actually kind of like barely in there. Maybe we even need to like do a better job of putting it in there, but it maybe not, because it's working for us. And so from if you're someone from the perspective of like hacking what we're doing, it is definitely not your typical challenge. It is getting stuff done. And by the end of it, you will have stuff to move forward with. Should you want to like go and continue on your own, you'd feel empowered to actually go and do it on your own. But I think our offer is so amazing. Why would you want to do that? And I had another thought, but I lost it. So
well, the other thing I was going to say is think back to most of the challenges you've ever taken, and have you actually gotten something from the 3 secrets? Oh, we got these 3 secrets here, and we're going to change your life. And then you listen to them and you're like, oh, that's a bunch of crap. And what really sells you is the pitch at the end and the stack. And you go, oh, well, I need bonus number 5 because blah, blah, whatever. That's why you buy. You buy because of the pitch at the end, not because of the content. In our case here, we want you to buy and move forward with us because of the content, because of what we have already done for you up to that point.
Yep. 100%.
I think when we're putting like what we're taught when we're putting webinars together, and which is essentially a challenge too in the Russell Pedro models, is to deliver the strategy, not the tactics, to deliver the what, not the how. And I think we are just dancing over that line where we are actually delivering a little bit of the how, but it's not the tactics. I don't even know how to talk about that, because it's like it's following the webinar framework, in that we are addressing like they need to know, like we're introducing the new opportunities to them. We're introducing these things to them. And instead of just talking at them about them, we're actually having them take a little bit of action so that they can totally internalize it, of like, oh, this is why this is so powerful. So we're just having, this makes so much sense. I've never even thought about this, of why is this working for us? It's because it is still the strategy part, with a little tiny bit of them taking some action to personalize that strategy. And then we actually aren't giving them any tactics. Now I'm thinking about it. There are no tactics to be given. You still have to buy the offer to get the tactics. But it's like one step further from just talking at them about the what, and it's having them take a little bit of action. Yeah.
Yep,
but like we've talked about a number of times, is we take a totally different approach to it. And we can say, again, if you're going to go to Russell Brunson marketing type terms, Perry Belcher, this isn't an improvement offer. This is a whole new opportunity, because we don't look at it from the standpoint of what everybody else does. So normally in one of your secrets is going to be, okay, well, you got to figure out who your avatar is. So they're saying, who's your who? And what Andrea did is she flipped that on its head and said, no, where we got to start is with, who are you? Mm-hmm. Because if you don't know who you are and what you're doing and why you're doing it, after I saw this the first time, it made me really stop and think about something that I had done in my own life, that after I got out of the real estate mortgage business, that it crashed and I got into online marketing and blogging and WordPress and all that, I decided I was going to be the person who was going to teach real estate agents and mortgage brokers how to be bloggers, how to make money online, how to drive business online using a blog or something. And I did that for 11 years until in 2018, I woke up and I said, what the hell am I doing? I didn't make any money for 11 years. Why? Because I hated the people I was working with. And I didn't want to do it. And on that day, I became the membership site guy. Now, had a long story on that, had to do with Steve Larson, et cetera, but it wasn't until I finally just looked at, wait a second, that's not who I am. That's not who I want to be. But yet I tried being that square peg instead of the round peg. I tried being that square peg for 11 years and wasted a decade of my life because I didn't figure out who I was first.
And look at how many people that you've helped and how much you've changed the game of membership since becoming the membership guy. I mean, pretty cool. Grateful that you stepped into it.
Well, it's either that or I'd have to kill myself. So I didn't have a choice. So.
I wanted to ask Andrea, so because we talk about this because our challenge, we haven't even said what it's called. It's called Share Your Genius with Continuity. I can totally put something on the screen to share that. But continuing what Dan just said of, you gotta start with you. I forgot. Dan, you say it so beautifully.
You say it so well.
Yeah, I think the way I've been saying it is that others tell you. Now, see, now you got
Andrea's got it in the slides. It's okay. We got it started.
But others have you start with who. Others have you start with who is your who. We start with who are you.
Yeah.
How's that? That's probably about the best way I can say it.
And to that point, so I wanted to ask Andrea to tell everybody, like, how does that relate to continuity? Because we have like this, the buzzword continuity within the linchpin model and the Clickfunnels community is like, it's talking about a specific revenue, like type of revenue. Like it's subscription models, it's recurring income. But the word continuity actually means more than that. And it has to do with what Dan just said of like, you got to make sure that you're in alignment with your business. You like the people that you're working with and helping. So how does that relate to that?
Yeah. And it's so meta too, because I think, so the true act of continuity is that you are consistently doing the habits that grow your business every day, every week, right? I mean, that is the essence of continuity. The only way to do that is to be in flow. The only way to be in flow is to go from a place that you actually care about and can tap into creative genius to continue to be in flow, to continue to do the things that get your business to grow, right? Like that. And that's just you side of the equation. Then we talk a lot of times when we talk about recurring or continuity, it's recurring revenue, right? Which is just the outcome of all of those things. And those things have to support, when we talk about continuity in your program, you have, in your expertise, it's breaking it down into, we've talked success path or like core, the core thing that they're going to learn. But then they have to start to go into habit formation to continuously stay, AKA continuously pay. And that all has to be broken down. Then it just so happens that you get recurring revenue when you do that. But it's these two sides of that equation that have to be in place before recurring revenue even exists.
Yeah. It all is like full circle. It's all coming together. We are very excited for this challenge. So it is happening next week. It is called the Share Your Genius with Continuity Challenge. I'm actually going to resize my window here.
Shout out to Nicole too. This one was such a fun one. This funnel was so fun.
I don't know why my monitor always makes it look funny. So, okay, we'll go with this. Okay, so it is happening next week. It is the 7th through the 9th. And I think we have the time down at the bottom. Was it 9 a.m.?
9, yep.
9 Pacific. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So you can definitely come check out this really awesomely designed page. It's super cute and awesome. Just opt in. It's totally free challenge. Oh yeah, there's our time on the button. Totally free challenge. It walks you through. We've got a breakdown. I actually did a breakdown of this a little bit yesterday on my Geek account into the group yesterday if you want to know more about how we actually set this up. That video is in the CF 2.0 Geek Out group on Facebook, and you can see how we made this funnel and what the next pages look like, or you can just come and opt in and see what's on the next page. And then it does do like a breakdown of like each day. If you're like, well, I want to know what is happening each day, well, you can come and see. And it's just going to be really, really fun. Like I said, the first challenge, which was 2 days, was day 1 we did, and the day 3 we did, and we're adding in the day 2, which is not a new thing. We've been doing it for years with clients, and now we're just like, oh, we should have put that in the challenge. So now we're putting it in, and it's going to be really, really fun. So it's for 2 hours a day. And then you do have an opportunity. I'll just spill the beans. You have an opportunity to join VIP on the next page after you sign up, which gets you an extra hour of Q&A, like ask questions, get feedback on the work that you did during the challenge session. And yeah, just an extra hour of time to work through some stuff to really solidify that plan.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And the work.
I think too, just on the pitch, for, if you do join VIP, it'll give you a really good sense of the geek community, because all of our geeks are invited, and I have a feeling a lot of them will come. So you'll get a sense of the community as well, joining those VIP sessions, which is fun.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's one of the cool things about our challenges is that when you're in our academy, you get automatic VIP access to all of our challenges, which is really kind of so on the breakdown that I did yesterday, I showed how we make that work in the funnel, so that if they're an active member of our academy, what's happening in the back end, so that they're not getting asked to sign up to it again, and it's just giving them automatic access. So yeah. I just think it's so fun to break that down.
Oh, and a shout out to you too. So we've been playing a lot around with pipelines. And so being able to create a pipeline inside of 2.0 for challenge registrants that then we can potentially like also map to group track and to, right? Like it's exciting. It's like, yes, it's super exciting.
Pipelines is really cool.
So
oh yes. Okay. Anything else on the challenge? We just go sign up. It'll be fun.
It'll be fun. Come hang out. There'll be replays. Come join. Hi, Liz. We haven't seen you in a while. It's good to see you, my friend. And Terry too. Hello.
Okay, we do have boxes to open.
Oh, yes.
That is in our caption of these videos, is that we have boxes to open. Anything else before we open up the boxes? I think that's pretty much it. Is like just sign up for the challenge. It's geekoutconnect.com. Here we go. geekoutconnect.com/shareyourgenius to get to it. I don't think there's anything that's the big thing that's going on right now.
Maybe back to you, Susan. I think you guys and you and Dan both are just doing an amazing job at the SOS stuff. So if you guys want some like weekend binging, I would highly encourage you to go check out both Susan and Dan and just what you guys have been doing on the Secrets of Success stuff on your personal pages. It's
well, and
cool.
if you're a member of either of any 3 of ours downline, we also have a group for that. You can join that group. I'm putting a ton of content in there as quickly as I can. I put a bunch in yesterday, which ended up causing me some issues, which I've had to spend the entire day today fixing. But it's okay. It's my fault. I got to fix it. So either way, so I got to spend 2 days instead of 1 day doing it, which is okay. Well, let me just tell a little quick backstory here before we open up the new boxes, because you see this box up here, and you've all probably seen it if you're all familiar with the Secrets of Success thing at all. This arrived on my front step a couple days before Funnel Hacking Live. So I was one of the very first people to get one of these boxes, because most everybody else who was going to get one of these was already on their way to Funnel Hacking Live. And so I see it sitting out on the front stoop, and I'm like, I have no idea. Why did they send me this? I didn't even know there was a Secrets of Success starting. I knew nothing about it. So I opened it up, and I did something I rarely ever do, is I read the cover letter that's inside of here. And it says, oh, hey, you've been picked as one of the people to promote early for Secrets of Success. I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. And so I opened it up, and inside are, okay, so all right, so that was it. So that's how they started with the promotion of it. So inside is a copy of Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich with a foreword by Russell Brunson. And then inside of it, there's 2 more books. Now, I had these spiral bound at Kinko's, but there's 2 books inside of here. Turns out that this book right here is actually a Mifke that Napoleon Hill used back in 1919 when he was writing his, I think it was Napoleon Hill's Golden Rule. It was a magazine that he had. I think there was only 12 copies ever, or 12 months worth ever made. And in each one, he had some lessons on applied psychology. So he gave away this book as a Mifke, and I say give away, it was $50. He said, if you, no, how did it work? You could buy it for $50, what was it? Maybe it was $50 for the entire year. If you signed up for an entire year, it was $50. If you signed up for the entire year, he sent you this book essentially. So very few people ever saw this book. Very few people ever read this book because they went out of business after 12 months. So there were not a lot of these out there ever. Russell got the rights to reprint this. And also in the membership area for Secrets of Success, there's also an audio copy of this as well, so you can listen to it. This book right here was something he was actually given by the Napoleon Hill Foundation. And this was an old manuscript, never had seen the light of day before. There was no known printed copy of this ever. There was one typed copy from Napoleon Hill that was typed on onion paper that was basically disintegrating. And what I would love to see is a version of this book where he does what he does with the Hand of Time or the Hand of Destiny, where you got the original typed on one side and then the cleaned up copy on the other. That would be cool. I think, Susan, make sure you give that suggestion to Russell next time you see him. So that would be really great. So this came here just purely as a promotion to get me to become an affiliate for Secrets of Success. Well, this is also their Mifke for Secrets of Success, is this box and then the 3 books. Now, once you buy, you don't have to get the Mifke if you go and sign up for Secrets of Success, but you can, of course, get it. If you then buy a year in advance, just like they did with this right here for Napoleon Hill's magazine, if you buy a year in advance of Secrets of Success, you also get a bonus, just like this would be. I guess technically this was a Mifke. The other thing I'm about to talk about is not a Mifke. The other thing was just a bonus saying thank you for signing up for a year in advance. So you get the box could be the Mifke, and then you get something else if you sign up for an entire year. And that was a manuscript for the one of which turns out is 3 autobiographies of Napoleon Hill. And this was the early years of his life. And Russell purchased this for, I don't know if he ever disclosed exactly the amount. It was $5,000 a page about for this manuscript. He has the original typed and handwritten and cut and paste version of it that Napoleon Hill made sometime before World War II. I don't think there's any specific date on it. And that's where he takes on one side, the photocopy, and then the printed on the other side, and they turned it into a fantastic book. So last week, they finally launched the program for reals. And Susan and I and Andrea, but Andrea has no proof at this point of it. We all signed up for not only
about that.
Keep going, Dan.
Yes, the word success on 3 times and the word secrets. Therefore,
you got the audio.
Success.
No, it shouldn't be playing audio.
Just a little back. Walt Disney.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
That's funny because I don't hear audio on my side at all. Okay, is that better?
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah.
Huh. What the heck was I saying?
I'm so sorry.
Well, either way, so there, and the whole backstory on this is Russell's been collecting books for several years. He says he's got like 15,000 old books that he purchased, and that what did he say? What was the latest number on that? It's at least 5. No. I mean, this shopping trip alone, I think, was like 2.86 million
or
just
something.
where he goes to get the Napoleon Hill stuff. But he's got all the stuff from, I always forget her name, Elsie Lincoln Benedict. He's got a bunch of stuff from her. And a lot of that, I think he got from Joe Vitale, which if you don't know who Joe Vitale is, look him up. The man's a genius. I've been following Joe for 20 years. The man is an absolute genius. But either way, so now we all get to open up our boxes. The funny thing is for me is yesterday I got 2 boxes. 2 identical boxes. And we don't know what's in these yet because we haven't opened them, even though I did see somebody else opening one online. But what's interesting is one of my boxes says it comes from Secret of Success, and the other one says it comes from, what was it? From Magnetic Marketing.
Magnetic Marketing.
Yeah. So why I got 2 boxes, I have no idea. I've checked my credit card. I was not billed twice. So thank you, Clickfunnels, if you accidentally sent me 2 of them. So let's.
I know there's one person in our community who has been sent 2 of them and only ordered one.
I was wondering that after I got these 2 boxes yesterday. Did he just get the Mifke box twice, or did he get this brown box twice? Because I did not see. I did not see the second book.
So mine actually says from Magnetic Marketing too, but I'm not in Magnetic Marketing stuff, so I don't know if they're just. It's just being sent from there, but
I mean, it has to be just as they're from their shipping. So. Yeah, so this does have in here, I already know from looking at it, from having seen other people's videos, is this does have both items in here.
Should we open them now?
Yes.
I already cut mine open, but I haven't looked inside of it yet.
So I will go down to the bottom first, and
it's possible I'm opening mine upside down.
You're opening yours upside down.
I'm totally opening it upside down.
This is what I thought was going to be in here, which this box is in much better condition than the one that the mailman just threw onto my front porch and was covered with dirt. So this one's in much better condition. And you're going to have inside of here a lift letter on the top. And then inside of that, you should have the same books as, yes, you have the same books as I had already shown. So got that there, the logo in the front. But that's, I mean, this is cool, but I already had one, so it's not nearly as cool. And these books are great. I've read a little bit of them. And of course, everything from Napoleon Hill is great. I'd actually have to say Think and Grow Rich is probably the worst book he wrote out of anything, because it was kind of a, if you listen to Dan Kennedy, he'll tell you that Think and Grow Rich was really just a long form sales letter designed to sell the Law of Success, which was essentially Napoleon Hill's encyclopedia.
Yeah, it's like, okay, Laws of Success is really long and really in depth. How do I make like a short, like take out some key points out of there, and then, like you said, Dan, like position it so that it sells the Laws of Success at the end of it.
Okay, are you ready to show the big
ready.
one? Okay.
Paid a lot of money for this book.
I'll give you a second to dig it out of the bottom of the box there.
Oh, it's heavy.
Oh yeah,
it's really heavy.
Yeah. When I first saw this, and I was watching Brandon Henry open up his the other day.
Mike trying to hide it.
I don't know why.
Need the reveal.
Wow.
Right here, the Hand of Destiny. And apparently the way they printed it, I don't know if you guys saw it. There was a post in the Clickfunnels official group the other day on how to open a book. It's actually a specific way that they used to teach back in like the 1800s. You're supposed to put it on its spine. And I know you can't see here. Maybe if I push this down a little bit, put it on its spine, and then you open up like the back, and then you open up the front, and then you open up like every individual page essentially in order to make sure you don't break the spine of the book. And then there's a little extra something in here, which I'll have to read at some point.
I think I'm going to need to like just take a razor blade to every page, because this is the way that they printed it is the way that they used to print books. I don't know if my camera will pick up on it.
Yeah, it's going to be really hard to pick that up, I think. I try showing it on mine,
get my
too.
face out of it, it might focus.
Yeah, mine showed a little bit better for a second,
like,
and then it adjusted for the color.
On it. That's cool.
It's because these are all little tabs that the pages are actually not completely cut apart. So it's like this.
That's really cool.
Yeah, I guess if you show it at an angle,
to get to the inside of the pages.
Yeah, there's like eight pages here all together, and then you'd have to cut them apart. When Russell is showing this on one of the videos, he like starts tearing it apart with his finger, and he like rips the page. So be very careful, get a very sharp knife, get in here, and just slit them apart, razor blade, something like that, because otherwise you're just going to be ripping this book apart.
I imagine they probably used like their, the blade letter opener style letter openers.
Yeah,
They probably
I don't know. I
those.
can't say because I've seen plenty of old books over the years, and I don't know as though I've ever seen one with its pages stuck together like this, though. So I don't know how far back that goes that they did this kind of style. But what this book is, and Russell never really explains it, and hopefully I won't ruin anybody's life by explaining what this is. I think I already said it, though, this is book number 1 in Napoleon Hill's autobiography. This starts with his birth in Virginia in 1883. I'm not sure how far it goes because I haven't read the whole thing yet. Because you can actually find copies of it. So this was the original book. But the cool thing, like I said, is Russell has the actual original manuscript of it. The second version of this, also still written before World War II, is called The Wheel of Fortune. And then they say that the final book that Napoleon Hill wrote, which was Grow Rich with Peace of Mind, which he wrote in about 1968, that is also quite a bit biographical. I have a copy of it back there. And the thing is with Napoleon Hill, the reason why he wrote, or the story I've heard at least, and the story came from Dan Kennedy, who I'm pretty sure heard it from Zig Ziglar. The reason why the book was written in the first place was as a giveaway piece for William Penn Patrick, who ran a company called Holiday Magic, and Zig Ziglar worked for Penn Patrick. And so he gave that away as something talking about their belief system, because at that point William Penn Patrick had joined up with Alexander Everett and started something called Mind Dynamics. Mind Dynamics, basically upon William Penn Patrick's death, and I think it was 72 or 73, it collapsed. But there were, I think, 9 or 10 people who worked for him that went out and started their own things, including Werner Erhard, who started EST, which then turned into Landmark and Forum, Tom Wilhite, who started Psi Seminars. LifeSpring was also an offshoot from that, and who knows what else. They were known as large group awareness trainings, which eventually, over time, up in into the early 80s, really kind of morphed into Tony Robbins. And he's still doing it today. Psi Seminars still exist today, and so does Forum. And they all came as a genesis in many ways from Napoleon Hill.
Yeah. Wow.
Very, very cool. There's so much history in all of this. So yeah. Okay. So if you missed it, Dan and I just opened our boxes. Dan already had these 3, but I didn't. So I've got mine now. And then we each got our Hand of Destiny books that are massive.
And I don't know if you guys had, and excuse my voice there, I don't know if you guys had an opportunity to watch any of the stuff the last 3 days about Elsie Lincoln Benedict. Russell was talking, especially with Joe Vitale on Wednesday, it was, about whether or not those two knew each other. Whether Elsie and Napoleon Hill knew each other, because they were born, I think, within 2 years of each other, and they both died in 1970.
Oh,
so
really?
Both in the same world at the same time, talking about the same stuff, but there's no evidence that, as far as I've seen, or any, Joe Vitale hasn't seen it, and he's pretty much an expert on her. He hasn't seen any evidence of it either.
Isn't that wild? Like, in today's day and age, that would be unheard of, right? Back then, I can imagine, because they didn't have internet and easy connection and ways to find each other, and you know what I mean? But like, that's wild.
But Elsie Todd, or I always want to call her like Elsie Todd Lincoln, like Mary Todd Lincoln, Abraham Lincoln's wife. Elsie Lincoln Benedict, she was a world traveler. She was a multimillionaire. She traveled, what they say, 55 different countries. So she was all over the place, made a big splash down in Australia back in the day, New Zealand, down in there. And so it's, I don't know, they had to have run into each other at some point, you'd think.
Yeah.
Plus everybody else. I mean, these aren't the only people from that time frame either. There are plenty of others.
Right.
Yeah. Which is what Secrets of Success is dedicated to. Is that time frame of Russell said.
You want to show inside the membership?
Yeah. So Russell said 1850 to 1950 is the 100 years that he's focusing on. Yeah, and I have it here. Let's see.
Well, Andrew Carnegie, I think, was born like 1835-ish in that time period, because he died in 1919. And that's one thing I got to talk to some of these guys about, because they're saying, oh, yeah, Andrew, Napoleon Hill sent Andrew Carnegie a copy of the 1925 version of Law of Success. I'm like, okay, guys, Carnegie was dead for 6 years already, so I don't think that happened. So he may have inspired some of this, but I don't think he got a copy of it.
There we go. Yeah. Okay. So this is inside the membership area, which is a 2.0 membership area. We can circle it back, connect it back to GeekOut and Clickfunnels. So inside of the membership area, Russell's been releasing lessons, which are his success path. There are 2 in here so far. They're so good. He has they all kind of load on one page if we're looking at the structure of how this was made, of like, here's like the intro, what to expect video, and then he's got lesson, a video. Now this isn't exactly how we would advise someone to put this together, but it is what it is right now. It would be fun to go through this with Andrea's eyes on it and all of the expertise of good customer experiences and customer journeys, and be like, okay, what could they stick down here under this video, and like, what's the homework being asked on this one?
Yes.
My bigger question is, what's with the teddy bear on the sweatshirt?
I love it. It's the softer side.
When he walked out there with that, I'm like, I mean, it must mean something, but
it must. And I haven't asked him.
It means nothing to me. I don't know.
I haven't asked. Yeah. And so, yeah, so there's the success path. This is basically, I think Justin's been saying this, so I don't think it's a big secret. If not, I'm maybe totally fired. But
okay. You don't need
the modules that are being created in here, these lessons, it's basically Russell creating the book that he's going to write for Secrets of Success. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that's well known out there.
Yeah. So, if you want to speak into what his Secrets of Success book is going to be, it's the videos, it's the modules here.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's like anything else. He tests the material first. I mean, so the linchpin stuff, he was testing that for a year or 2 before he ever wrote the linchpin book. And it's already morphed. What's in the linchpin book is old, because it's already morphed a whole bunch since.
Yeah. One of the cool things in here is the way that they have their library set up. So here's all of the authors that they have loaded in. And when I say loaded in, I mean there's audio books in here from them. I'll go to Elsie Lincoln Benedict because I have unlocked hers already. And so you can come into the books, and they have your ability. Oh, this is different.
Yeah, they changed that.
They've updated it since I've been in here last. So you can listen
they have.
From here, listen right from the membership area, stream to your favorite app, which gives you the ability to, this is how I've been listening to these books, as I connect it into I am an Android user, so I use Podcast Addict, and it connects fine for me on that one.
Yeah. And then for me, with an iPhone, all I had to do was turn on my picture app, or my photo app, showed it the QR code on my computer screen, and it says, do you want to download this? Click on it, boom, put it into Apple for me. Put it right into Apple Podcast, whatever the hell it's called. It says Apple Podcasts there. I don't know if that's what it is or not.
Right.
Whatever it is.
The QR code is the how I connect it to, just from the other app. Like, somehow it all works that whatever podcast app you have, it's supposed to like automatically open it up into there and ask, do you want to like import this in, or whatever it is, or do you want to? I forgot what it says. But then they also have the PDF version. If you're like, I want to read the words, or I want to print it out and highlight it, like that's my plan of like, okay, I'm gonna probably like go print this and bind it, and then I can have the physical copy of the book and listen to the audio, and then I can make notes and highlight and all that kind of stuff.
Here's another thing again, which I think would be cool, because Russell went through the trouble of printing this, and I mean, why couldn't he do the exact same thing with these books as well? And what was the exciting news from this week?
I don't know, Dan. Tell us. Please enlighten us.
Regarding how to get anything you want, they found 3
more that news.
Yeah.
See, when even Elsie's granddaughter, I forget, I think her name was Heather, maybe.
Oh, they have them in here.
They have them in there already?
Yeah, so it was
it's just missing there for 11.
10, and then they had 12 and
no, those
13.
Book 11 is missing, so they don't have those in there yet. But years ago,
missing. Oh, 11. Yeah, no, it says missing. You're right.
Yeah. So a number of years
I was
ago,
looking at these numbers, not these numbers. I gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So a number of years ago, Elsie's granddaughter got a hold of the series of 7 that Russell had. I think Russell bought them from Joe Vitale. Well, what Elsie did is she just opened up, typed it all out, turned it into a book, and was selling that book. Well, all she had was the first 7. She didn't know 7 more existed. And then Russell was going through a whole pile of other books that he bought from somebody else, and just a whole bunch of random books. And he's going through there, and he found all these little blue books. He goes, "Oh my God, there's more of these." And that's when he found 8, 9, 10, and 12. Then they had Olga Keith actually found book number 11. So Justin calls this guy up and says, "Hey, can I buy your book 11?" And then just kind of as an aside, he says, "Oh, hey, we've heard there's a 13 and 14. Do they exist?" And the guy goes, "Yeah, I got 2 copies of them." To which at that point, I said to Justin, because they didn't think about this until a couple of days later, I thought, well, did you ask him if there was a 15 or a 16? Did he ask him if he had any more? Because we don't know how many there are. Mm-hmm. So right now they have 14 of them.
Yeah. So Russell just this past week got 11, 13, and 14, which he's been searching for 11 for he's been searching the ends of the earth for it. Yeah. And he finally, with Olga's help.
Yeah, they found it in, yes, a guy had an antique store where he collected old books and stuff, and he happened to have 3 of those books. A couple copies even.
Yeah. If you want to, let me pull up another page. If you want to hear that story, we had Olga and Justin on Funnel Hacker TV this week. You can go to funnelhacker.tv. I actually don't know if it's even up here yet. It's not. It's on YouTube. We're going to go to YouTube. It's on YouTube.
Well, it's also in the secrets.
It's a great picture. I love it. That's so fun.
I was going to say, it's also in the Secrets of Success group. That particular thing, I think, streamed in there. But I think they also did a second interview in there as well with Olga, where she, we said, maybe it was from yours. Maybe it wasn't. But either way, it should be in there if you remember the Secrets of Success.
Well, yeah, if you're an affiliate.
Well, yeah, that's why you should go and sign up as an affiliate. Didn't you give them our link for that? Or did you give them the link for the actual?
No, this is just the link to get the books.
Okay. Well, if you want to become an affiliate, reach out to Susan and she'll give you the proper link to go to.
I have a link for the affiliate too. It's probably just /affiliate. I'll just double check in our back end real quick. Okay, yeah, YouTube Clickfunnels has it. I'm gonna find the link so I can. Here it is. Here's the link to the Funnel Hacker TV episode. It is in the comments in GeekOut and in the comments in YouTube. And then Dan will have to share it in his if he wants. Okay. All right. Okay, so we've been live for a bit. Recap. Go join our challenge. Share your Genius with Continuity challenge that starts next week. And it's going to be amazing. I'm trying to find the link to share it. There it is. Okay. Share geekoutconnect.com/share your genius. It's our 3-day challenge. Load it up. Just load it up with good things to help you move forward in creating your continuity business, your linchpin business, whatever you want to call it, your business that you love and want to show up for again and again. And then if you want to get the books that we unboxed, that link is in the comments too. It's geekoutconnect.com/SOS. And if you want to be an affiliate, reach out to us. I'll get you the link. It's geekoutconnect.com/ I can probably tell you in like 2 seconds here. /
for the challenge.
SOS-affiliate.
Yeah.
Okay, easy. SOS-affiliate. Okay, that's it for us today. Thanks for hanging out with us. I don't know who's been on here the whole time, but we appreciate you. And I've lost my stream here. There we go. Okay, we will be back next week. It'll be like a recap of how our challenge went when we were live next Friday. And lots of cool things. Book club, if you are watching on YouTube and you're not in our Facebook community, come join. It's CF 2.0 Geek Out. You can search it. I can probably find a link for you. I think if you go to, don't we have a URL for that now? It's is it geekoutcommunity.com? Is that what I set it up as?
For which one is it, Susan, that you're trying to go to?
Oh my God, I'm gonna try it if it works. If it works, then I'll say it.
Okay.
I thought we had a domain for this. Yes, if you go to geekoutcommunity.com, it goes to our Facebook group.
Oh,
and you can join. And then we have book club every Tuesday. So we're going through the linchpin.
Mm-hmm.
So
good. Such good discussions.
So if you're watching us on YouTube, come hang out with us in the group. Join the challenge if you want to join the challenge, or come hang out with us during book club. And we're going through the linchpin book. So, all right. Those are all of our plugs. We'll see you guys all later. Have a great weekend.
Love it.